The Valorian Empire had conquered 47 star systems in 300 cycles. Their fleets moved through the galaxy like a crimson tide, their warships bristling with plasma arrays and kinetic bombardment platforms that could crack planets like eggs. They were the apex predators of known space, and they knew it. So when their scouts detected the third planet orbiting an unremarkable yellow star, they expected nothing more than another primitive civilization to subjugate or exterminate. The initial scans showed promise. 7 billion inhabitants, industrial signatures, chemical propulsion technology, barely capable of reaching their own moon. By Valorian standards, they were infants playing with fire. Commander Thelkar stood on the bridge of the dreadnought Crimson Fang, his four eyes gleaming with anticipation as the conquest fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system. 300 warships, each one capable of reducing a continent to ash. It was, by his estimation, gross overkill. But the Empire did not believe in taking chances. "Send the standard ultimatum," Thelkar ordered, his mandibles clicking with amusement. The message broadcast across all frequencies: surrender within 1 planetary rotation or face annihilation. It was a formality, really. None ever chose wisely. For 3 days, Earth remained silent. The Valorian command found this puzzling, then insulting. The beings on this world called themselves humans, and their silence was interpreted as either stupidity or defiance. Either way, it would cost them everything. "Perhaps they don't understand the gravity of their situation," First Officer Zelnoth suggested, studying the tactical displays. "Their technology is centuries behind ours. They may not even comprehend what we're capable of." Thelkar's laugh rumbled through the bridge. "Then we shall educate them." He ordered a demonstration. A small city on the night side of the planet vaporized in an instant by a focused plasma strike. The death toll, 300,000. The message, comply or die. Still, the humans said nothing. The Empire's propaganda channels broadcast footage of the attack across their territories, mocking the primitive species that refused to acknowledge their own doom. Social feeds filled with jeers and wagers about how long Earth would last. Some bet on immediate surrender. Others predicted total extinction within hours once the assault began. On the 6th day, as Thelkar prepared to give the order for planetary bombardment, the communications array chirped. A single transmission originating from Earth, not a plea for mercy, not a desperate negotiation, just 2 words spoken in a calm, almost casual human accent. "Weapons free." Thelkar frowned. "What does that mean?" His question was answered 17 seconds later. The space around Earth shimmered, and the Valorian sensors screamed warnings as thousands of signatures appeared simultaneously. Not ships emerging from hyperspace. These had been there all along, hidden in plain sight with stealth technology that made Valorian cloaking look like children's toys. Orbital defense platforms uncloaked, their surfaces bristling with weapons that shouldn't exist. Railguns that could accelerate projectiles to 0.3 C. Directed energy weapons that made Valorian plasma arrays look like candles, and stranger things, technologies the Empire's scientists couldn't immediately identify. But it wasn't the platforms that terrified Thelkar. It was what came next. From the outer system, hidden among the asteroid belt and the gas giant's moons, the human fleet emerged. Sleek predatory vessels that moved with impossible grace. They didn't broadcast threats. They didn't posture. They simply opened fire. The battle lasted 4 hours. It felt like 4 seconds to Thelkar, and 4 eternities simultaneously. Human ships danced through Valorian formations like sharks through a school of fish. Their tactics were unlike anything in the Empire's vast military database. Aggressive, creative, and utterly ruthless. They targeted command ships first, decapitating fleet coordination. They used the system's gravity wells and radiation belts as weapons, forcing Valorian ships into kill zones where human weapons could devastate them. The Crimson Fang shuddered as something tore through its shields like they weren't there. Alarms screamed. Hull breaches vented atmosphere. The proud dreadnought that had led the conquest of a dozen worlds was dying. "Retreat!" Thelkar roared. "Full retreat!" Of the 300 warships that entered the Sol system, 43 escaped. They fled in disarray, their crews traumatized, their certainty shattered. The mighty Valorian Empire had been bloodied, and by a species they'd dismissed as primitive. As the survivors limped back to Imperial space, carrying tales of humanity's hidden strength, a second transmission reached them. This time it was longer. A human female's voice, measured and cold. "You attacked our world. You murdered our people. You mocked our silence. Understand this, we were not afraid. We were not confused. We were waiting. Waiting to see if you were capable of reason. You chose violence. We will remember. We will prepare. And if you ever return to our system, there will be no warning, no ultimatum, no mercy. This is your only chance to leave us in peace. Choose wisely. The Empire never returned to Sol. The story spread through the galaxy. The species that had seemed weakest were actually the most dangerous. Humans, it turned out, had a philosophy the Empire had never encountered. They hoped for peace, but they prepared for war. They spoke softly, but they carried weapons that could crack fleets. And when they finally broke their silence, they spoke in a language the universe understood. Overwhelming, precise, and unrelenting force. Earth's message had been received. The galaxy would never underestimate humanity again. Word count 996.